An Indian outsourcer cooking the books? I'm Adam Najberg of the Wall Street Journal, here with my colleague Nick Diogan, the Wall Street Journal's international editor, to talk about Satyam Computer. Nick, thanks for being here. Tell me, how big a scandal is this?
This is certainly the biggest corporate scandal in Indian stock market history. Satyam Computer is one of the best known technology companies in India, and we have an astonishing confession today by its chairman and founder, who essentially says he was cooking the books, and the company whose name means truth in Sanskrit was a giant fraud for several years.
Credilina is calling this India's Enron, albeit on a smaller scale money-wise. But tell me, how did he get away with this for such a long time?
I think that's one of the things that investigators are going to be poring over right now. He essentially says in this astonishing 5-page confession letter that he wrote to the board and to the regulators in India that it's been going on for several years, and it was concentrated the holding company. He says it was that the board of directors, which has a pretty star-studded cast, and the other top officials really didn't know about it. I'm sure that's something people are going to look to see, whether he had any accomplices, and how could a company of this size, which was on the NYSE, which was audited by PricewaterhouseCoopers, how could they get away with it for so long? I think whether it becomes and is seen as India's Enron, a lot will depend on how investors react, and so far investors are not reacting well. The Indian stock market was down more than 7% today. It's really shattering the confidence of a lot of investors, both foreign investors and individual retail investors.
Well, let's take a look at this for a second. What investors aren't feeling very good right now, but what's the outcome of this likely to be for investors, but also for the people who work for this company and its clients? It has some very big blue chip companies.
Yeah, it's interesting to see. I mean, some of the other rivals have been hit, but some of them are expected to benefit. You've seen some of the rivals to Satyam, like Infosys and others, their stocks have risen today because people think that the Satyam is obviously going to lose a lot of business. The Satyam stock, which has gotten hammered today, and Satyam employees, who knows what's going to happen to them. It's also a particularly bad time because the technology outsourcing sector is starting to cool already. The Indian economy, just like a lot of other economies, is starting to cool. So it definitely doesn't help on that level. And I think people are just going to start to wonder about the transparency of some of these companies. The chairman, Mr. Raju, his comment today was quite stunning. He said he did it for so long, and finally he couldn't keep it up. He said it was simply unmanageable proportions, and it was like riding a tiger, not knowing how to get off without being eaten.
Well, Nick Diogan, thanks for being with us. For the Wall Street Journal, this is Adam Najberg.